Does your man Boots, your Philly guy Boots, does his career seem like it's I don't want to say it yet, but kind of looking a little bit like Demetrius Andre, just from the standpoint of, this dude looks like he's so talented, pound for pound kind of guy, but he can't get the big fights, and even worse, 147 is not really, and it's a historical glamour division, but right now it's not really glamorous. 154 isn't really too glamorous either. It's just like ain't nobody really
Um,
around like that.
um,
Well, besides like
I
unfortunately,
don't want to say that just yet. Demetrius Andre got his big super fight at 35 years old. Boots is 26.
Mhm.
So I don't want to say that just yet. You know, um, I don't want to say that. But it is gonna come a time where he's gonna have to start making some decisions, or the people around him are gonna have to start making some decisions as far as who they're gonna fight and things like that. I personally don't think he needs to move up. I think if he can keep making the weight, he should make the weight. Sometimes when you're patient, then you know, oh, that's my hey babe,
Yeah, do you think?
doing the interview. I'm gonna come around to your track to the what you come. I think that he needs to be patient. Sometimes when you're patient, it's the promoter's job to create opponents. It's not the fighter's job to create opponents. Somebody got to create an opponent for him.
But
You know what I mean?
when
But
you say that though, it's like even if you tell them to be patient, if you can make 47, make 47, but there that doesn't really seem to be like a name at 47.
here's why I say that. Here's why I say that, right? Because a lot of fighters who have had great careers, what they've done is what they did was they beat the best available opponent for them, and then eventually great opponents surfaced, right? I'm gonna give you an example. Marvin Hagler was at 160. Name his earlier title defenses. Can you? I can because I'm weird like that. I know the guys he fought, but
Mhm.
most people can't name Hagler's title defenses, right? But you know when they can start naming them?
When they get to
When he
time.
fought
Yep.
Roberto Duran, John the
Durant.
Beast Mugabe,
Yep.
Tommy Hearns, and Ray Leonard.
Hmm.
Well, he'd already had 8, 9 title defenses before he fought them guys.
Yep.
But what he did was he just kept fighting the best available guy. So tell me who Terrence Crawford unified against. Tell me at 140. Tell
Oh,
me his title defenses at 140 and 135.
I mean, unified against obviously Indongo. Before that, unified against Postal. Um, beat Beltran at 135 for the title. Didn't stick
What he's
around.
anybody special? Post is the best fighter that you named out of them. But you know what he did? He just kept beating the best available guy consistently with no controversy. And then eventually he got the big fight. So why can't the same thing be happen for Boots? You got solid guys at 147. Eventually, all of these 40 pounders and 35 pounders that sweat off 30 and 40 pounds that make the weight, they're going to move up.
Hmm.
That's how boxing works. So you don't always have to run to everything. You just do your job, beat the best available guy, and the big super fights will come. Name Larry Holmes' great title defenses. He had 20 of them. But you know what his most famous fights are? Jerry Cooney,
Yep.
Michael Spinks. Eventually, the big fight come. He already had 10 title defenses by the time he fought Jerry Cooney. He
Mm,
had 20 by the time he fought Michael Spinks. But
mm,
those are the big fights of his reign that people remember. So what Boots has to do is just stay active, like the best available guy. And trust me, opponents create themselves. They do. A guy will win a fight and look good, and people will start buzzing.
mm.
Boots got the kind of talent where he don't even have to be fighting great fighters. He
Yeah.
could just fight the best available guy. With his electricity and his penchant for going for the knockouts and what the eyeballs show you, you don't need to be fighting like Sugar Ray Leonard, Tommy Hearns, and Sugar Ray Robinson every other month. Roy Jones didn't. But you know what HBO did? They kept him on TV in front of us, right? So we got to see this electrifying talent. Like, oh my God. Um, Mike Tyson is another guy that has that spectacular way about it. We don't know all of his people downgrade Tyson's title reign unjustly, in my opinion, but he was always in front of us knocking somebody out. With
Un
Boots,
you think it was unjustly with Mike Tyson's like his resume? You
yeah,
think?
because all he did was fight the guys that they put in front of him in the mid 80s and unified the hard way. He got all his belts from a person, no vacant belts, one at a time. WBC, WBA, IBF, and ruled with an iron hand. You guys now start screaming and hollering, I'm undisputed, I'm undisputed. It's no different than what Tyson did. It's not his fault that the guys that he was blowing those guys out. That's the era that he was in. Those are some solid fighters. It just so happened that there was a lot of drugs and stuff back in the 80s. And a lot of the guys that won the WBA belt, they would switch that belt on and off a lot because they were a little bit inconsistent. But nevertheless, that's not Tyson's fault. You know, he unified the title. He beat some solid guys. He knocked out Larry Holmes. It's funny. Everybody says, oh, Holmes was old. He knocked out Holmes 3 years before Holmes beat Ray Mercer.
Mm.
He knocked him out. Holmes beat Ray Mercer in 91. Tyson knocked him out in 88. Well, all everybody says is how old Holmes was when he fought Tyson, but they don't say it when he fought Mercer. You can't do that. The times don't lie. If he beat an excellent heavyweight that was undefeated 3 years after Tyson beat him, how could he have been shot when he fought Tyson?
That
You
too.
know, and I'm not trying to lobby for Mike Tyson. Obviously, he's a great fighter. It's just that sometimes the media can twist things a certain kind of way and make it look the way it is not. Boots just has to just stay consistent and stay in front of us and keep beating ring rated, viable guys. And eventually the big fight will happen for us. What he can't do is fight once a year and expect everybody to keep clamoring for him. He hasn't had that kind of win yet where he can um, reduce himself to fighting once a year. He has to beat some guys and stay in front of the public's eyes. And he's knocking guys out in the first round a lot of times. So he's the kind of guy that can come right back. You know what I mean? Because of just how he wins his fights. It's just so exciting. I don't know if we've seen a guy that's exciting like this with the flair that he has. He kind of has like that Tommy Hearns,
Definitely got
Mike Tyson,
Roy
Roy
Jones.
Jones
Yeah.
kind of way about him where he's a sharp boxer. He has that athleticism, but he's also looking for the knockout. So people love to see that stuff. So I think all this stuff about he needs to move to this division and that division, I don't understand that. I think he just needs to fight the best. Imagine if Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez, and Matthias moved up. Those are super fights. They one division away from him, just one division. I'm
Yeah,
not saying they should fight him now or anything like that, but we don't know who's struggling to make weight and who's not. Those guys move up. We got super fights, you know. So um, I think Boots is fine. He just got to get busy and stay in front of the public eye, and he'll get the fight that his talent calls for.
fair enough. And just on a side note, I do think Mike Tyson's best win is gonna be Jake Paul. Just saying. But
Is that a real fight? Is that going to be an exhibition or a sanctioned fight?
from what I heard, it's supposed to be an exhibition. From what I've heard, I don't even. I mean,
I
Mike.
don't know how a man 58 can get sanctioned. 57, I think, could get sanctioned for a boxing match.
I
So
mean,
I
I mean,
mean, I'm not gonna comment on that because I got too much respect for Mike Tyson,
yeah,
and you're fighting a guy 30 years younger than him, and regardless of what people may say, you do lose certain things. And
yeah,
Tyson was knocked out bad 20 years ago by
mm,
guys that could never have beat him,
yeah,
nowhere near beat him close to his prime.
mm,
So I want to turn this into a YouTuber versus real boxer thing because the real boxer is 57 and he could get hurt. You know, just that's just how it works. Genetics, science. You get older.
for
So
sure.
I don't know. I don't know about that. Hopefully he'll be okay. He did look bad against Roy Jones, but that's somebody close to his age with equal wear and tear. There's a difference, you know. So I hope I hope that Tyson don't get hurt, and I hope that this kid don't get the satisfaction of being able to laugh and mock and knock out a legend. That wouldn't be good. I'll leave it at that.
That's the perfect way to end the interview, man. Appreciate you jumping on. Great discussion like always, man. And good luck to your Eagles next year. They're gonna need it.
Mhm. All
Thank you,
right, man.
man.
Later.